We are live. What's going on, buddy? Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here with another video in honor of the newly released Candyman, fe- hmm, featuring my man Tony Todd, directed by Nia DaCosta. I am here with my CJ Talks Movies co-host, Mr. Logan Giant. So, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. How are you?
All right, just for everyone that's watching this live and everyone that's going to be watching this after it's recorded, we are not going to be discussing any spoilers. I'm just going to give you my spoiler-free thoughts on the movie. I'm not going to break down everything in terms of plot details, but give you just my overall basis of the movie. And in honor of Candyman, we are going to be reviewing, at least myself, I'm going to be giving you my top 8 favorite horror movie slashers of all time, dating back from the 1960s all the way till now. That's right. Myself, and potentially my other guest, Mr. Corey Knapp, we are going to be giving you my top 8 favorite horror movie slashers of all time. And let's get this thing going. Before we start, please be sure to like and subscribe to this video. I am on the road to 50 subscribers before the end of the year, so I will much appreciate your likes and your subscription. With that all being said, Logan, are you ready?
I will be ready once my dad hops on.
But yeah, just giving you my overall basis of the movie. Candyman. It is about an artist. It's about an artist named Anthony who lives on the suburban area of Cabrini Green. Now, this movie is a direct sequel from the original Candyman from 1992, featuring also Tony Todd and Virginia Madison. Now, Candyman, in terms of his mythos, is an ancient being, um, murdered as a young man after he fell in love with a suburban white woman. Um, the town hunted him down, beat him to a pulp, cut off his hand with a rusty saw, pour honey all over him, and was stung to death by bees. Now, in this version of Candyman, it takes the original Candyman mythos, but it expands it to a larger degree. I'm not gonna say how it does it because again, I don't want to get into spoilers. I'm probably gonna drop my spoiler filled episode this Monday or Tuesday. So please be sure to be a lookout on that. Overall, Candyman is a fun experience of a horror movie. This movie keeps you at the edge of your seat throughout the entirety of the movie. And the way that they expanded this universe, I mean, the way they expanded the Candyman mythos is truly spectacular. Even though he didn't direct this movie, Jordan Peele's feel, the director from Get Out and Us, his touch is all over this movie. I mean, it really is. Even though, again, he didn't direct this movie, credits to Nia DaCosta, who directed this film. His touch is all over it. From the way he writes these characters, from the way he expanded the Candyman mythos. I want to give a shout out to Tiana Harris. If you guys don't know who I'm talking about, she's one of the main characters of this movie. She plays the girlfriend of Anthony, and her performance is nothing short of spectacular. It really is. And the guy that plays Anthony, I'm sorry if I don't remember this actor's name, but I remember him from being he starred or was one of the stars in the Aquaman movie. I believe he played Black Manta, the younger version, not the old man version, and he is phenomenal as the lead in this movie. He gives such a performance that on one hand, it's incredibly mesmerizing, but on the other hand, like I said, Jordan Peele's touch is throughout this entire movie. It's almost like a dark comedy of sorts. It really is. It really is. And so I really appreciated this movie. If I had to give it a score, I'd probably give this a 9 out of 10. It's my number one horror movie of the year, and it may be in my top 5
Hey,
favorite movies of the year so far.
CJ, my dad says he needs the link.
I thought I gave him the link.
Yo,
What's going on?
Was that for
What's
Candyman?
Yes.
Got you, got
I'm
you, got
giving
you.
my spoiler-free review
Alright,
of the original Candyman.
he's not on Twitter anymore, so you need to text it to him.
Okay.
What's up, Logan? How you doing tonight? What's up, CJ?
I'm doing good, man. Bro,
Let's get it.
Candyman.
What's
It
up,
is so
Joseph, in
funny.
the comments? Let's get it.
Zion. I know you're not a big horror fan.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're not much of a horror fan anymore. However, do you remember watching the original Candyman in 1992?
Long time ago. It's one of those classics. It's one of those things you have to see. I remember watching it. I think I've seen it more than twice. I've probably seen it 3 times, but I can't remember that moment.
I'll tell you what.
If you understand.
It
We
is
should do a watch party.
it is rare. It is very rare that I watch a horror movie on first viewing,
Mm-hmm.
and whether it's a reboot or a sequel, it's very hard for a horror movie to live up or even outdo its
The
original.
original. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
This
It's hard
one,
for any movie to do that, actually. Some
yeah,
movies do, but I'll let you go.
this one, I don't know if I put it ahead of the original Candyman, but it's
Mm-hmm.
close. It's very close. And again, without getting into spoilers, the way they um the way they expanded on the Candyman mythos, the way they expanded on the Candyman character
Mm-hmm.
is so horrifying and it's so awfully tragic. You gotta see it to believe it. And the ending will absolutely blow your mind. It will absolutely blow your mind. And this is kind of like the only tidbit that I will go as far as saying it's a spoiler. It does set itself up for a sequel.
Okay.
Absolutely. And I feel as though, I didn't get to see how much this movie cost. I would
Mhm.
assume it couldn't cost more than $10 million, if that. But I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if this movie. I wouldn't be surprised if this movie did close to 80 to 90 million. No, I gotta go higher than that. I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this movie weren't to do anywhere between 40 to $50 million opening weekend.
They had
And
a
it
budget
may-
of $25 million.
Oh, it was 25
nothing.
million.
That's
Well,
nothing.
yeah, which is still nothing for a horror movie, but still,
Mhm.
I think it's going to easily top that. Its opening weekend, I think, and by the end of its run, I could see this movie grossing around 500 million in terms of total box office. Because
Mhm.
and especially with nothing much being out now, I could see this movie. I could see this movie having some really good legs. It's a really fun horror slasher movie, essentially.
You know if
But
it's on any streaming services? Because that'll probably help its numbers as well.
honestly, I don't think it is.
Theater release.
I don't think it. I don't think it is
Mhm.
because it wasn't. It was released by the same company, by the same movie studio that did both Get Out and Us.
Okay.
And I don't think they have their own streaming service. Logan, just so you know, I don't have your dad's number, so unfortunately I
Okay,
can't.
I'm emailing it to him right now. Actually, he's right here. Come here.
Just kidding.
Okay. But yeah, I highly recommend this movie. Please check this out in front of a theater. um, like I said, the ending would absolutely blow your mind, and the way they set up this movie because, and this isn't a spoiler, it's in the trailers if you've seen it. I remember watching the trailer a few months back.
Mhm.
The way they set this movie, basically they kind of changed Candyman's mythology. You know, like I said in the beginning, in the original Candyman, you know, he was this painter. You know, he was painting a portrait of this young woman that they fell in love. They had a child. The town was completely outraged, so they cut off his hand, burnt him, got stung to death by bees, a la the Candyman is born. In this movie, they set up the Candyman as being this complete weirdo of a character. He was handing candy to children, but they had razor blades in them, and so the police call home.
What a
They,
monster!
huh?
I said, what a monster!
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
that's
oh,
nasty. I just sent the link to Corey.
I just sent it to him.
Alright, perfect.
He's not on
and
Twitter
so
anymore.
yeah,
I
'cause I'm
sent it to
wondering, well,
his
how come
phone.
I can't tweet it to him?
He's not
And
on.
so
Just kidding.
and
We need
so
not to interrupt, but we need a Discord, so like we could just send links on Discord as well.
yes.
Oh, by the way, change the camera angle because Zion.
Yeah, I
hates
was just
his
about to
face.
say that. I mean, like, if you don't want, it's your stream. If you don't want to show off your side room, I understand, but yeah.
Unfortunately, my mom has my chair so she could finish
Oh, you
drying her
Gucci,
hair.
you Gucci, but it's your stream. I'll
Oh,
just
but
back up a
not.
bit.
Oh, but not again. You know, I was telling Logan this in our last horror stream that you have some really interesting. There's a lot of really solid to
I'm
great
still
horror
here.
movies coming out. And again, after seeing this, comparing it to A Quiet Place 2 and The Conjuring and The Devil Made Me Do It, this might be my favorite horror movie of the year so far. Like
Nice.
it's that good. If you're a real fan, and the thing that I like most about this movie, this isn't your prototypical slasher film. You know, this isn't some like I said, this isn't a movie that is really paint by. This isn't a movie that is paint by numbers. You see everything coming from a mile away. No, they set you up from the beginning that this is not the type of movie that you're gonna be expecting. The way that they tell the story of Candyman and the way they expand it on his mythology is truly something special. And again, the ending will absolutely blow you away, and it does sets up for a sequel. So, all right, now we have Corey here. What's going on, my man?
Yo, what
You
you
guys-
been up to, man?
You like the red
Bro,
lighting?
bro. So, first of all, Corey, let me tell you, are you a fan of the original Candyman?
Absolutely, man. Tony Todd is an absolute god.
Man, there are certain actors that were born to play a certain role. This is him. This is his. And as soon as I heard that he was actually coming back
Did he come back for this one?
yes, but I'm not going to tell you how.
Gotcha. Okay.
And again, I'm just going to give you my brief synopsis on what the film actually is without getting into spoilers.
Well, I've
As you know-
actually been watching the past 10 minutes, so I saw your early take on it, man.
Okay, but yeah, just I can't really recommend this enough. If you're a fan of old school slasher movies,
Yep.
but done in a new school way, highly recommend seeing this movie. I was just talking to my older cousin about this as soon as we left the theater, and both her and I absolutely love this movie.
Nice.
Like I said, it might be my favorite horror movie of the year so far, with still plenty more of good ones to come.
And there's been some good ones out this year so far.
Mm-hmm.
You guys like
Between
the light?
it's cool. Between The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, A Quiet Place 2, and now this one, I got something. Listen, man. By the end of this year, once we get close to Christmas time, I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to do some more horror movie shopping.
That you got Ghostbusters coming out in November.
And yes, and we still got Ghostbusters out in a few months, and add to the fact that we got Halloween coming out.
Yes, finally.
CJ calls himself CJ Talks Movies, and he's never seen the original Ghostbusters.
My mic was on
I'm
mute,
working
so-
on it.
Oh, Corey, I know you heard me, but
What's up, man? How you been?
Good, hanging in there. I'm
Man, it's been
adjusting
a
to my
long
new
time
job.
since we had the
Let's
four of
get
us
it.
together, man.
That's
It's
true.
been
That is
it's been a
true.
minute since I've done a stream myself.
I was just about to ask, is there any horror movies coming out? Like, and you guys just said Halloween, so that's awesome. But is there any like Predator or like Alien movies coming out that you guys know?
Well,
of?
they're redoing Predator.
Yes.
Not
Okay.
redoing, but they're doing a reboot with a Native American twist. I think it's taking place somewhere in the 60s or 70s, I believe.
Dad, your desk is smoking.
That's my
Oh, what's
clock,
up,
man.
Micah? So CJ, I sent my man Micah the link. He's a big horror fan. This is my friend I knew since the 5th grade. His name is the Micah 808, and hopefully you can get a new subscriber because I know Micah, he loves horror films. So I just sent him the link because I wanted to connect you guys because of the fact that I think you guys will be great chemistry. I don't know if he can call in right now because he's at work, but Micah, welcome to the channel, and please hit that sub button. My man CJ, he loves his horror films.
CJ
and
will
this is
be-
Corey and Logan. Let's get it.
Micah, get CJ to 20 on his movie channel.
Let's get it.
Horror movies, you were in the right spot, man. That is
Mhm.
my wheelhouse,
Uh,
CJ's wheelhouse. We love them.
Micah's
Yeah.
a huge comic book fan, and when we talk comic books and we talk Avengers and stuff like that, this is the guy I'm talking about. Like, this is the friend
Nice.
that had all the comic books, that had all the graphic novels. He's a huge fan. His favorite superhero is Batman. So right there, you're wearing the Batman shirt. So Micah, this is your crowd. You wanna be a part of this great community. Hit that sub button and let's get it.
Mm-hmm. Now that I've gotten past my Candyman review,
Mm-hmm.
Corey, I don't know if Logan has filled you in on this, but in honor,
my top slasher flicks.
in honor of, because I actually did this back to back. I watched the original Candyman last weekend
Okay.
to get ready for Candyman this weekend. So in honor of Candyman, I'm going to be doing my top 8 favorite slashers of all time. Whether it's their respective movies, where they've come from, their impact on pop culture, their legacy in terms of horror history. So, before we get started with the list, are you ready to get your slash on, my friend?
I'm ready, man. This is my wheelhouse. I'm ready.
Okay, well,
Logan told me about 20 minutes ago. He's like, "Can you come up with your top 8?" I'm like, "Done. I already have them. I know them in my head already."
my top 4 is easy. My top 4 is very easy, but my bottom 4, I may have to go in and out on some of these.
Yeah, no, I hear you. My top 5 is pretty much set. I mean, and I think most of you guys will probably agree with them.
Real fast,
To
guys.
me, there's one that's a holy grail that you don't
Yes.
touch.
And just so you know, I'm not just ranking these in terms of the movies they're in. I'm judging them based off their characteristics, their impact on pop culture, everything from taste to style and everything in between.
Yep.
So
Micah says he can't join the link because it's not working.
You got to be on Chrome if you want to join, bro.
yes,
Go on Google
Yeah,
Chrome.
we're joining from Safari from an iPhone. I probably won't let him.
Mhm.
I'm actually using my browser.
Yeah, me too.
Yep. Go on Chrome if you have Chrome. And that I mean, like CJ, I want to link you guys, so I know you don't mind if you joined. I wouldn't just send the link to any scrub or lame I know. You know what I'm
Nah,
saying?
you cool, man. Any
Alright,
any horror friends of yours is a friend of mine.
Let's get it. Thank you for that. I sent the link again. Just try to use Chrome if you can.
Okay.
Let's get it.
Now,
Sorry, back to you.
Now, start off. I got 2 honorable mentions. I wanted to do 10, but I figured no. 10 might
What is
be
that, Logan? That's awesome.
Damn it.
Sorry.
10 might be too 10 might be too many. So I figure, okay, you know what? Let me limit it down. Let me limit it down to 8, and just give my whole thoughts and review on this, because really my 2 honorable mentions are the ones that I absolutely adore. But unfortunately, they don't have the franchise to back up on them. And Corey, I want to see if these two guys are in your top 8 or in your honorable mentions as
All right.
well. So starting off with my first honorable mention, I really wanted to get him in my top 8 because I don't. Damn it! I
Luke, I
don't
am your
see this.
father.
I don't see this quote unquote villain as a villain at all. I actually see him more as some type of archangel. I consider him
Micah's in the back.
an angel doing the right thing. What's going on, Micah?
Nice.
Let's get
New
it.
blood.
I consider my first honorable mention to be an angel doing the wrong thing, but also a demon doing the right thing, and that is Lance Hankerson, Pumpkinhead.
I haven't
Oh, Lance
seen
Henderson's
that.
a man.
I've never seen that movie.
What is pumpkin? I think I know a pumpkin.
Corey, do you want to explain to who Pumpkinhead
Educate
is?
me.
You want me to do it?
You go ahead, man. I mean, I've honestly only seen it once. I mean, I'm a huge Lance Henriksen fan, but I've only seen that movie once.
Does he have a head like it's a pumpkin?
No.
Oh.
It
No,
kind
they
of
call him
looks like
Pumpkin.
it kind of looks like a mix of a xenomorph mixed with.
Yeah, he's cut. I mean,
Love the
he
beard.
has
man.
he has a demon like look to it. But the reason why they call him Pumpkinhead is because he comes from a pumpkin field.
Oh.
But yeah,
Honestly, he looks a lot like a xenomorph too. You look at it.
kinda, especially with the weird head shape type thing.
Yeah.
But no, the reason why I love Pumpkinhead.
Man, he looks like the alien.
Yeah, he's basically some type of demon-like alien creature, but his whole mythos, like, let's say Zion, you have a best friend,
Share that screen,
and
CJ, and continue talking.
bam.
Well, no, not that screen. The other screen. That's Micah again.
Yeah.
There you go. Is
Yeah.
that him?
Yeah, that is it.
That's it.
That is it. And even though it's the stuff of nightmares, the thing about Candyman, the thing about Pumpkinhead that I love most is that, you know, if you really think about it, he's really just kind of like a dark angel of sorts.
He's almost like an anti-hero.
Yeah, he's basically the equivalent of an anti-hero because in theory he always takes out Logan. He always seems to take out the quote
I
unquote.
apologize. It's amazing what $5 and Five Below can do for 13-year-old Logan here.
Yes.
You
Yes.
got Micah in here twice, CJ.
Nice,
Oh,
Chucky.
is that the NECA
Oh.
Chucky?
No, that's the design from Seed of Chucky.
No, I
My
said is that
favorite.
is that the NECA Chucky? That's an action figures place.
Well, this is from Bride of Chucky, actually.
Oh,
Micah,
nice.
you got two
It
connections,
is.
man. We're hearing you in stereo.
Yeah, CJ, take out the icon.
Take out the
Micah.
take out the icon.
Check out the icon.
You got two Micahs.
You got two Micahs.
Kick them
Oh,
out
shoot.
there.
The one that doesn't.
There
Have,
we go.
Okay, there you go.
There.
Here, I'm gonna put this on one color so no one in the audience has a seizure. All right, there.
Oh.
Put it on strobe mode. That'll do it.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
What is that? A lightsaber?
No,
Yeah,
it's
just a
It's a
glow
strong
light.
light.
That's awesome.
But not again. Well, where was I getting that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, if you read on the Pumpkinhead mythos, basically his whole creation came from about that he is basically designed to take out the people that you feel has done you wrong, and
It's
so
like the original Spawn.
kind of, but only downside. Okay, just because I'm in the mood for it, I'm going to give the short version of the Pumpkinhead poem. Guarded doors and windows barred. Guard dogs prowling in the yard. Won't protect you from your bed. Nothing will from Pumpkinhead. Basically, if you feel like someone has done you wrong, you could conjure up the spirit of Pumpkinhead to avenge you. Like Corey, you said you've only seen the original Pumpkinhead once.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to throw this out in the air just for the sake of it, but let's say somebody had severely injured one of your best friends or even a family member of sorts, and you wanted
Hunt him down.
and you wanted to basically hire a demonic bounty hunter to take care of said problem. Pumpkinhead is that. However, if you do, the consequences are extremely high.
Yep.
Extremely high.
Oh.
And extremely high. And so, again, the reason why he's one of my favorites is because he's the type of character, the type of slasher that I could really get behind and not feel almost an ounce of remorse for any of his victims. You know, with characters like Freddy and Chucky, you know, obviously they always target innocent people. Pumpkinhead does not.
Yeah, he's not
He
targeting.
targets
he's targeting
basically the worst.
sinners.
Yeah, he basically targets the scum of the earth.
So he's like Ghost Rider?
Similar, yeah. He's
There you
basically just like Ghost Rider, but very similarly, he's also kind of like the Devil's Spawn.
Oh, I was gonna
Where
say
he
Spawn.
where
I
he
watched
always.
Michael as the first person to show me Spawn. I watched Spawn at his house.
Mhm.
And honestly, man, that movie's garbage. The comic book series.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
and
I didn't like the graphics back then.
And my second honorable mention, not just because I mean, obviously I love these movies, but unfortunately there's never one singular. It's basically just another person, spoiler, in a costume, and that is the Scream franchise.
That's
Yeah.
my favorite horror movie of all time.
It's one of my favorite. It's one of my all-time favorites. Oh, but you know,
I watched
there's
Scary Movie before I watched Scream.
Oh, come on, man. Come
I'm
on.
sorry. I watched Scream, like the whole franchise, but I was kind of a bit thrown off. I'm like, oh, that's the guy from Scary Movie.
Honestly, the
They're like,
first
no,
Scream
Scary
was
Movie copied that.
The first Scream was fantastic. After that,
My,
The second one is not bad. The third one is
Third
pretty
one's
good.
garbage.
The fourth
Oh, wait,
one
no, wait,
was
no, wait.
terrible.
Let's get it, Michael. You was gonna say something?
oh, well, I mean, the fourth one, yeah, but I like the reveal because I didn't expect it. Like I mean, you guys might think it's stupid, but you know, her cousin and all that. I was like,
yeah,
What?
I didn't see that one coming. I
Like-
didn't see that one coming. You're right about that one. That was, I mean, it was.
I mean, the first one was like obvious, except for his friend, which was a little obvious, but you already knew it was Billy. The second one, I mean, I guess
Second one
couldn't
seemed a
really
little
tell.
far fetched.
Second one was trash.
I can't even
But the fourth
remember
one,
the second one.
but the fourth one, I just did not see that coming, and I was like
The
shocked.
second one
What?
was Jackie from Roseanne or Sheldon's mom is the one.
Let's be
the one
honest.
that,
The
was
only reason
good.
the Scream franchise went on as long as it did is because Courtney Cox wanted to see how many movies she should be in.
Oh, she's gonna be in another one.
Yep.
Yeah, we got a Scream 5
is coming out next Halloween, I think, right?
I think so.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming out
They're
next
filming it.
year.
They're filming it now.
Wait, when you see slashes, does that mean the people that kills with knives and ribbons and stuff? So like you wouldn't.
Now we're talking.
Okay.
We're talking horror franchises. You're talking here, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Correct.
Yeah. You're talking your Freddy movies, your Jason movies, your Michael.
Freddy
movies.
is garbage. I just had to point that out.
You know what? I can't. I will admit there have been a few of those movies that have been absolute garbage, but the majority of them are actually pretty good.
All of them are.
I don't mind Freddy. Freddy's pretty badass.
Well, as you can tell, this one's my favorite.
Chucky.
I'm not gonna spoil it. We're gonna get to Chucky very soon.
Chucky is garbage.
You're garbage.
Does Stranger Things count as
Here's the thing,
scary?
though, man. Logan, you didn't grow up on the '80s horror flicks. You didn't grow up on this.
They're barely horror flicks. They're not even scary.
Well, think about it, man. When it first came out, Jaws is considered horror.
That's
I mean,
true.
I mean,
Things have
CJ
I
has
changed.
great
don't
arms
want
from
Chucky. I don't
Jaws.
want Chucky to be scared. I just want him to be entertained. 'Cause I love Chucky. I love his personality.
You paused.
I mean,
Oh, there you go.
Till this day, CJ still can't get in the shower. He's scared of Jaws.
yo, real fast. Not to interrupt, but Logan, do you got like a purple light to that? You should be like Mace Windu. You know what I'm saying? Change that to
Nice.
purple. Let's get it. There you go.
Mace Windu, the MFer of Star Wars.
Let's get it.
Shoo!
Coming in at number 8.
Yo, CJ, we should do a Star Wars stream another time. But
I hate
continue.
I am.
You don't like Star Wars?
I like Star Wars, but I'm not really. I like Star Wars, but I'm not. I guess I'm a casual.
You're not one with the
Star
Force?
as long as he's
Star Wars is the most overrated movie franchise of all time.
I love Star Wars.
I will say right
Stop
now. We will revisit this in another stream.
Dad,
Yes.
I've never
The
watched
first 3 movies to me are legendary.
Perfect.
I
next
fell
3
asleep halfway through the second one.
The next 3 were hit or miss and garbage. The last 3, I watched the first one and
Jar
I
Jar
watched it
Binks.
in a sense.
Oh,
I
I
watched
haven't
The
it.
last
Jar
two
Jar
was
Binks
garbage,
quality.
but it's not Canyon no more. They removed it.
Yeah,
So
I know
it's
they
gonna
did.
be it's
still
gonna get
canon.
awesome.
Jar Jar
I've
Binks.
I thought they
I've
removed it. They
seen-
removed it.
I've seen the original.
It's canon for now.
I've seen the original. I've seen the original trilogy, and I think I've seen 2
2
of
of
the
the 3
Disney
next ones.
ones. I've seen The Last Jedi. No, the one with when Luke Skywalker came back. Was that The Last Jedi? I seen The Last Jedi and Rogue One.
Rogue One's a spinoff.
Yeah, well, no, Rogue One takes place like right before Episode 1.
Well, it is
More.
a spinoff, but it covers what happened, how they got the plans for the Death Stars. What happened.
That is
Correct.
true. And to get it back to horror, I kind of tied that in because what's more horrifying than an evil empire? You know what I'm saying? So continue, CJ.
Donald
your
Trump
horror,
being the president.
Coming in at number 8, and I'm pretty sure me and Corey are the only ones to have seen this.
I bet you might have seen it.
You might have.
Might have seen it.
Well, yeah, me, Corey, and Micah have probably been the only ones to see the original, the OG. There would not be none of these slashers would be here if it wasn't for this man, Norman Bates, Psycho.
Don't know what that is.
Coming in at
Man,
number 8.
Zion, you gotta watch and don't.
Is that the Green Goblin guy?
No,
Like
Norman Bates.
okay, we did look similar, right?
We're talking about the original
No.
Anthony Hopkins movie. Not Anthony
Who would
Hopkins.
even heard of Fly?
What the hell's his name?
oh my goodness, Alfred Hitchcock.
Alfred Hitchcock movie. Yeah.
Psycho.
PSYC.
Someone mentioned that when I was watching the documentary.
What was his name?
Alfred Hitchcock.
Anthony Perkins.
Anthony Perkins.
Not Anthony Hopkins. That sounds of the lambs. But don't watch if you haven't had a chance to watch it. There's the original 1960 Anthony
The
Perkins.
1960?
And
Yep.
the remake with Vince Vaughn.
Do
Don't
not
see
watch it.
Do not watch it at all.
Honestly, it's the sad thing is it's literally
It's literally the same
word for
movie.
word.
That's a 61-year-old movie. Oh,
And the,
wow.
the original series
It's
is like
awesome. Time.
4 of them.
Classic.
And a little bit of movie trivia for you. The woman in Psycho is
I'm looking at her right
Jamie Lee
now.
Curtis's mother,
Jamie Lee Curtis's mother.
Oh.
Janet Lee, had no idea that was her. Who would have thought that the 2 biggest female icons in
Green
such
Queen icons, yeah.
were related?
And
How-
as a follow-up, if you love Psycho, there is a fantastic A&E TV series called Bates Motel,
Yes.
which
I watched
goes
I
on
did.
for
I remember
4 or 5
watching the first
seasons.
episode too. And they were
It's
very
just a
soft.
5-season show about incest.
Well, that's
Mm.
Norman Bates. That's Norman Bates' creepy relationship with his mother. Exactly.
Yes.
But
But you-
it's
No,
just
go ahead,
phenomenal.
Corey.
It's a phenomenal movie, man. It's such forget Bates
It's in
Motel.
the Mount Rushmore of greatest horror movies of all time. If I'm
Whoa.
being honest,
It is. It's on top of that. It comes from the mind of Alfred Hitchcock, who could
And it has one of the
really
most
screw with your
iconic
mind.
theme songs.
Say again, Mike. I'm sorry.
Sorry for interrupting, but it has one of the most iconic horror theme songs.
Yep.
No, you have to just get your point out there, Micah. So you never apologize for interrupting,
Yeah,
like
man.
unless like it's
Sorry.
in the middle of a debate. But other than that, we just have fun on this channel.
Yeah. But then again, the original, like I said, the original Psycho, it kicked off the era for modern slasher movies. It really kicked off the
Yeah.
era for modern horror when you look at some of the most iconic horror films that came out of all time. Most of them are in debt to Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho.
Yeah.
You talk about Alfred Hitchcock was already a main man before Psycho came out. When you look at North by Northwest, Vertigo, Alfred Hitchcock was already an icon prior to Psycho, and then he stamps it off with a movie like this. Again, while Norman Bates may not be your most complex character, I mean he's basically your guy from next door having a little skeleton in his closet. And
I just put a link in the chat, man. This is actually I read this list the other day. It is a list of all of the horror movie eras since they really began in the early 1910s, 1920s. And how you've got some of the dead eras, like the early 50s through the early 60s, were like all about the atomic bomb and the big monsters. 1960s Psycho is where things started to turn, and you had to start looking at the background of the villain.
humans your guy next door could be the next Dracula.
Yep, that was a thing. I mean, Anthony Perkins played him perfectly too. He seems like he is such a nice guy. He ran a hotel. Everybody loved him. Yeah, he had some quirks.
He gets bullied by his mother.
Yeah, I mean, he was a good-natured kid. Yeah, he was a little oddball. He was a little bit quirky, but you didn't expect what he really was, and that's the scary
Right.
part.
You don't find out till like the very end
Mm-hmm.
that it's him, and
Yeah.
Mom's run the whole thing. I'm not going to spoil for anybody who hasn't seen it, but it's a quick watch too.
Don't worry, Corey. The movie came out 61 years ago. You can spoil it if you want to.
I mean,
That's 61 years to watch it.
I'll tell you what, man. Honestly, man, I think if you haven't seen it, man, if you don't know the story, you should really watch it. It's a real good.
Check it out.
It's a good mind squeeze. Like, oh, were there really that happened? And what the hell happened here? I mean, it's kind of like it's jarring. And in the 60s, people must have been like, what the? I mean, it was.
And just I never watched it, but just like I'm not a big avid fan of horror. I'm not a huge fan of horror, but just hearing you guys talk, it makes me intrigued by it. And also too, if CJ, knowing that he's such a big horror fan, he put it on the top Mount Rushmore. And yeah,
It's in the Mount Rushmore of horror
60
movies,
years
man.
old. It aged well, and it started the revolution of so many franchises that I probably love. You know what I'm saying?
Put it to you this way: if there was no Norman Bates, Anthony Perkins, there would not have been.
There is no Michael Myers. There is no Michael Myers. There is no
Hannibal Lecter.
There is
no nothing. Especially the real deep character studies like Hannibal Lecter, like Michael Myers. Forget the first one. We're talking about the mythos that comes in Michael Myers in Halloween's 2 through 7. I mean, they all have their bad points. They are bad points. There were some really bad movies in there. But when you start delving into the mythos of villains and killers, without Hitchcock and Anthony Perkins, wouldn't have existed at all. They are the ones that really cracked the case for everybody.
And it was really the first horror movie to where the villain is the main character. If you really think about it,
Yep.
like most other horror movies delve in on, like the final girl or the final boy of that matter, or a group of kids. However, like in Nightmare on Elm Street,
Yeah, Freddy's only in the movie, I think, 12 minutes in the first one.
yeah.
Oh, are you serious? That's crazy. His screen time was only 12 minutes.
Give or take.
The rule is if you have sex, you die. That's basically what that whole movie is based off of.
Yeah, which also I do want to give a shout out to Scream for I do want to give a shout out for Scream for just for going away with that trope. Because if you remember, the final girl in the original Scream movie had sex, and yet she lived through the entire franchise.
Well, that was the thing. You know, the Scream was so meta back in the day.
Yes.
I mean,
it
they
was
were
really
the first one.
self-aware.
I
Was
didn't
that
hear you,
Michael?
Mike. I'm sorry, man.
But it was really self-aware.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always compare. I always say Scream is kind of like the Deadpool for horror movies.
It really is. It really is.
But
What do you got at number 7, man? What do you got at number 7?
number 7, in honor of Candyman, is Candyman. I just love the original Candyman so much, and this one, like I said, it really delves into. I mean, it really expands on the mythology of what Candyman is. And I'm not going to spoil. I don't want to spoil it for people who have yet to see it. But the whole mythology of Candyman, especially Tony Todd's version of it, is so tragic and heartbroken and just overwhelmingly brutal. Not just physically, but from a psychological standpoint. You know, with villains like, Michael and Jason, you really don't know the origins of how they became supernatural and evil.
Yeah.
Candyman was really the first one to where you get it, you understand it, but more
Why he is
importantly,
the way he is. Yep.
yes, and the way they took his character and made him into what he is in this movie is truly traumatizing. Where Candyman could almost be anybody in any era, in any time frame.
I'm not asking you to spoil, but did they put like a current day spin on it?
Yes, they definitely put a current day spin on it, and to where, like I said, Candyman can basically be anyone, and his legend. Without going into spoilers, there is a way to get rid of Freddy Krueger. There is a way to get rid of Jason Voorhees. Candyman, there is no getting rid of.
There is no way.
His legend can literally live on forever, whether he's alive or dead. As a matter of fact, he's probably even more dangerous in the afterlife than he is alive. So, just the whole logistics of Candyman's origin. The only reason why he's not higher on my list is because I feel like the other 6 bring more from a supernatural standpoint and an overwhelming presence to their characters.
Hey, sorry to interrupt real fast, but I'm gonna head out and watch these fights. CJ, I just wanted to come and support you. I'm gonna let you guys finish. I'm gonna watch the replay though and make sure. But Michael, please stay in and chat it up with these guys. These guys are great, all content creators, and I know you're a movie buff yourself, and I know this is a great crowd for you. So just because I'm leaving, don't leave. Just stay and hang with these guys and give some of your takes of your horror films too. So thank you so much for having me on, guys.
Just so you know, Zion, man, the PS5 arrives on Tuesday, man. We're gonna start running things up on that.
Let's get it. You already know. All right, guys. You guys have a good night and bless up. Subscribe to CJ Talk Sports and Micah, Corey, and Logan. I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you.
All right, now coming in at number 6 is by far the most violent, the most supernatural, the most sadistic slasher within the horror genre.
Pinhead.
He is my favorite Cenobite, Pinhead.
My man.
Doug Bradley's Pinhead, man. What a freaking role did he land?
When you said supernatural and vicious, that's the only thing that comes to mind. I will admit there are a few of those movies that are bad.
No. Listen, the Pinhead franchise, among all my favorite slashers, may be the worst critically run franchise, and that's even including Friday the 13th. There are some god awful Hellraiser movies.
But you've got to admit, man, especially for pure shock value, Hellraiser 1 is
it's banamously crazy.
Oh my god! And that was filmed when 81, 82?
No. Pinhead was I want to say like 86, 87. I know he was after Freddy for sure. Like he may be before Chucky.
Hellraiser 1. Hellraiser was 87.
87. I know it was
2018,
mid to late 80s.
It was Clive Barker, though, so you got to admit that's why it's so far out there. Clive Barker is the master of like the macabre, man.
Oh my god!
He was today's modern day Eli Roth.
I was gonna say he was the he was the 80s version of Stephen King.
I have a question,
exactly.
guys. I've never watched the Hellraiser movies. What is it based off of?
Cora,
I'll describe it, man. Basically, it's almost like dimensional supernatural stuff.
Yeah.
There are these evil guys called the Cenobites. Pinhead is their leader. And there is it all centers around a puzzle box. Honestly, man,
basically just get high and watch it.
Dude, I couldn't even imagine being high and watching that movie.
Hey, basically, this guy named Frank. I'm not gonna spoil the plot, but like basically, this guy named Frank. He has this puzzle box he buys from this mysterious guy, and he solves the puzzle. When he opens it, he goes to hell, and then he's like the only one to escape hell. And then he's trying to like
make up with his lover.
And that's all I'll say about the first one.
It's really far out there. Honestly, it's probably more visually shocking, especially for the time when it was created.
Yeah, the second one
really out there.
I think the second one is the best, bro.
I'll agree with that. Yeah, I think the second one's probably the best of them all, but the first one was the most visually shocking because you weren't expecting anything. It took what happened in Nightmare on Elm Street and Jason and all the Friday the 13th series, and it turned up the gore factor for like what Saw and Hostel did in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yes. And again, the thing that drives me most wild, and listen, like Corey, you and I, we're both, and Micah, you and I are both big horror fans, especially slashers.
Hey, I'm a horror fan, bro.
I know you are, man, but you haven't exposed what we have been.
Yes.
And war veterans out here.
And and listen, when I was growing up, getting into horror movies, especially slashers, I always kind of made up these fantasy fights, slashers that I always wanted to see that I always wanted to see get into a fight.
Ash take on Jason.
I'm gonna go brush my teeth.
That was one of them.
I want to go brush my teeth. I'll be back.
But it drove me wild when most fans ask who would win in a slasher fight battle royal. Everyone is picking Jason. Everyone is picking Michael. A lot of people are picking Freddy for good reason. But it blows my mind how few people mention Pinhead. Yep. Pinhead could take out literally half the slashers without even moving.
Half the block by blinking his eyes, man.
Exactly. Like, don't get me wrong. Jason and Michael are two of my favorites. They would get destroyed by Pinhead within a minute.
Yeah, I mean, like Pinhead,
like his telekinetic powers.
He didn't lift a finger.
You're right.
His chains would do all the work for him.
Jason got his ass kicked by a 13-year-old girl who has half the powers that Pinhead has. You put a pissed off Pinhead against a mama's boy. I'm sorry, Jason is gonna get creamed within a few seconds.
Did you guys know that there was a alternate ending for Freddy vs. Jason?
Yes.
Well, not an alternate ending, but like an unused ending where you're gonna see Freddy and Jason continue fighting in hell, and then you see Pinhead come up and say, "What seems to be the problem, gentlemen?" Like,
yeah,
there were different things that were thrown. I haven't seen it, but I've heard about I've heard about that.
That would have been a crazy ending.
I would have loved to see it, especially if we're getting Pinhead at his maximum powers versus Freddy in his world. Take all my money, because that would be a fight I would pay to see.
Fantasy horror you could see in that. Oh my god, that'd be crazy.
But like I said, the only reason why Pinhead is this low is because there were some god awful Hellraiser movies.
Terrible.
The first two are actually pretty solid. The third one ain't so bad. The fourth, I have the first 5 Hellraiser movies on DVD. 4 and 5 are just incredibly deplorable. I mean, bad is not.
There have been 10 of them.
10 of them?
I'm
Like I
looking
said,
at it
I've
now.
only seen the first 5.
There have
I've
been
only seen
10.
the first 5, and really only the first 2 are worth watching.
Yeah. Well, I would say the first 4 are worth watching, but from 5, from Inferno to Hell World, they're just not worth watching. They're like boring.
And there's
Pinhead
been
is
2 more
barely in
since
the
then. One
film.
in 2011 called Revelations, and one in 2018 called Judgment.
Judgment
Yeah.
was okay. It was different, but it was better than Revelations. That's for sure.
Okay. But yeah,
I like.
alright.
I'm sorry.
but yeah,
Go
well,
ahead.
no, go ahead, Corey.
I like the third one too because Pinhead was like front and center the whole movie because he was
Yeah.
barely in the first 2. So I like that he was just like front and center the whole film. The third one, that's what I like about that one.
Yeah, the first one was all about Frank and his family. That's what the first one was about.
Yeah.
Correct. I will say that I forgot what movie it was. I totally forget. But me and my dad love this line. It was from one of the Hellraiser movies. I can't remember which one. But you find these 2 cops, and they confront Pinhead with their guns pointing out, and they see the pins on his head, and they're like, "Oh my god!" And Pinhead just shouts out incredibly, "Do I look like someone who cares what God thinks?" And
I
both
think it was
Pinheads,
4 or 5. I think it was, yeah.
and
I think it
both,
was 3.
was that the third one?
I think it was the third one.
Was that Hell on Earth? Maybe it was that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, it was Hell on Earth.
I
Yeah, that
know.
was number 3. Yeah, number 3.
Doug Bradley gets out this shout to where me and my dad nearly both died of laughter because of how true it was. But basically, all he said was, "Do I look like someone who cares what God thinks?" I went, "Nope."
Yeah. Third one.
This son of a bitch is about as immortal as they come. Especially with that lamented configuration box. Now moving on to my top 5. Wow, I've gone on record and said that the first one it's among my short list of the most overrated horror movies of all time, but I can't get over its impact, the twist that no one really saw coming. It literally came out right towards the thick of when slashers were starting to become iconic, and that is Friday the 13th. There's only 2 of the Friday the 13th movies that I could thoroughly watch and enjoy.
Jason X.
Well, no, I'll just play. Jason X and Jason Takes Manhattan are my mom's 2 least favorite Jason movies.
Some of the most
I
fun
absolutely
movies
love them
ever.
because of just simply how bad and ridiculous they are.
You know what it was? I think for those movies, they knew how bad they were going to be, and they played it so over the top.
Oh my god!
I mean, how about like and I'm sorry to cut you off, man, but Jason X is one of my all-time guilty pleasure movies. What about the freezing of the face and the nitrogen?
That's probably my favorite Jason kill of all time.
Oh my god! Or the
When
bet
he
at the
takes
end
the
where he
pills.
takes the girls in the sleeping bags and slams them against the trees. Let's have some unprotected sex. He puts them in a bag or just beating the crap out of the girls in the tree. It's so funny because the movie laughs at itself so hilariously.
Yes, they do. And I thank them for doing it because I'm like, listen, they tried the first few Friday the 13th movies. They tried so hard to be like the next Halloween. Like at a certain point, like guys, we're a franchise that revolves around a hockey mask killer taking out horny teenagers. Let's just embrace the goofy and the silliness version of ourselves. And they did that with not only Friday the 13th. The one with Tommy Jarvis is an adult.
Oh,
Part 6. Jason Lives.
Part 6. You're right. Yeah, part
Jason
6,
Lives. Yeah. For Pete's sake, Jason gets resurrected by a lightning bolt.
Yeah.
He gets resurrected by a lightning bolt, and he has a James Bond type of entrance.
Yeah.
Oh, I
How
love it.
freaking bananas can you get?
And that was all because Tommy wanted to make sure Jason was dead.
Yeah,
He
he's
took
dead.
the rod. He took the rod in him, only for lightning to strike it. And what an idiot!
Bro, he's dead.
Dead. Yeah,
He's in a coffin. He's buried 6 feet under. He's got maggots coming out of his eyeballs, and yet you still don't think this motherfucker is dead.
CJ, I have a quick question. I'm sorry. I know it's your stream. My head is dying. Can you stop screaming?
Okay.
Yeah, I ran out. So, Mike, in case you didn't know, Logan's my son. So we ran out of Advil. So I got to go to the store in the morning and get some Advil because they're closed right now. So he's had a headache for like 3 hours. I feel bad, but
Okay. Last that will probably be my last rip because now we're moving into the top 4. And man, let me say, coming up with my top 4 in terms of characters were easy, but it was so hard to place for which one do I like more over the others. So for everyone out there, my final 4, you got Michael, Freddy, Chucky, as well as Leatherface. I put Leatherface last, even though for a long period of time, the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre was probably my favorite horror movie.
with the documentary style too they did was so amazing.
But the reason why I figured let me put Leatherface on last is because while Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a masterpiece and it's such an iconic horror movie, it doesn't quite. I'm not gonna say it doesn't hold up as well as some. I'm not gonna say it doesn't hold up as well.
It's not as storied as a franchise, I think, compared to
Exactly. You know, it doesn't have that big franchise appeal. You know, to be honest, and I've only really seen the first one. I've only seen one. And
every new film of that one has to be a sequel to the first one. Like every film they make of that one, like the second one, and then
the one with Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger in the one.
That was a sequel to the first one, and then Leatherface was a sequel to the first one, and Texas Chainsaw 3D was a sequel to the first one. It's like no, Leatherface was a prequel, but Texas Chainsaw 3D was a sequel to the first one, and they're making another one right now that's also a sequel to the first one. It's like they keep redoing the continuity every time. It's like I don't know.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I think he's probably one of the greatest characters, but the franchise is very lacking.
Very, very lacking. It may be the most lacking franchise within horror movie slashers. Like even with the Hellraiser franchise, you know, Pinhead is still a rock star, and he knows he's a rock star. But Leatherface, it's just that there's nothing about him that's really captivating. Like even Michael and Jason, even with Michael and Jason, you know, there's something about them that draws horror movie fans into watching their original movies. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it's really just it's a movie directed by a madman about a madman. Like if you wanted to get to a horror movie that's really just ultra violent, ultra creepy, but also doesn't show you a whole lot, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is essentially a must-watch.
Yeah.
Like, it is hard to quantify yourself a horror fan without seeing the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So, that alone, because the movie is so iconic, is why it's in my top 4. But unfortunately, it doesn't compare as well as, like, to a Michael, a Jason, or a Chucky, for that matter.
You know, it was too. You think about it, wasn't there? Let me actually look it up here. Yeah, there was 12 years between Texas Chainsaw 1 and Texas Chainsaw 2. There was no idea for a franchise, so they dropped. I mean, Texas Chainsaw Massacre was supposed to stand alone by itself, so they took literally over a decade to go to a sequel. So to me, there was no like when they realized what a hit they had for Friday the 13th, with Nightmare on Elm Street, with Halloween. Within 2 years, the next one was out. They realized they had franchise possibilities there. And think about it, Texas Chainsaw Massacre was in 1974. They weren't considering how many movies going back to the 74 ever had sequels. James Bond movies.
Jaws.
Oh no, Jaws was 78.
75.
I thought it was
75. I'm sorry, 75. Yeah, you're right, Jaws. You're right. I can put that in there. But really, there was no franchises back then, other than James Bond. So, Zion says, "Pull him in, man."
Yo, I've
There
been
he is.
watching. You guys are so knowledgeable coming into movies and stuff. I just got out to watch this fight, but the next fight is coming up, so I just wanted to come in back to the stream and show my support. But continue. Don't want to interrupt.
No, it's just again.
Good takes on your Jason. I do like the Jason, the real fast, not to take over, but I do like Jason in 2013 because it was easy on the eyes, but it was just a slasher, horny teenagers that kill and stuff like that. So
Wait. It was just
understand your
like,
point,
guys, we're a franchise about a hockey mask killer going around killing teenagers. We're never gonna be we're never gonna be anything close to what Halloween is.
Win awards.
and that
Let's
one
just embrace what we are.
that one scene what Corey was talking about, like I do remember that, like that is a memorable scene when he puts her in the suitcase, or not the suitcase, but he puts her in the
duffel bag, of
in the
course.
duffel bag, and he starts going like that on the tree.
Yep.
That was funny. And then Michael, your knowledge on Pinhead, that's what's up, bro. But continue, CJ. Don't want to take over.
But not like I said, the reason why the original why Leatherface is so high is because the first Leatherface is iconic.
Yeah.
For a long time, like I said, it was my favorite horror movie. Up until I got older and started watching more, but yeah, Leatherface, great movie, part of a great historic horror movie. But when you compare his franchise compares to others, it's very lacking.
Yeah.
Very lacking.
What did you think of the remake?
Haven't seen it. Haven't
Honestly,
seen it yet.
It's pretty
saw
good.
it was it's probably the second best of the franchise.
Yeah.
I have a question.
And Arlie Ermey.
Look at Zion raising his hand like he's
Like one of the best parts in that
These guys are so knowledgeable, Logan.
There's an easy way to beat Jason. It's just have a sock on hand and you'll
Wait,
never get killed.
Leatherface, is that Chainsaw Massacre?
Correct.
Yeah.
So wasn't Jessica Biel in that movie?
in the remake.
I know she was in one of the remakes.
Oh, she's in the remake. Okay. I have to go back and watch that whole franchise. I don't think I completed it. Continue.
It was actually pretty well
I
done.
remember the
Mhm.
next generation. That's when Leatherface was like a transvestite.
Yeah, and that's the one that had Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger before they were famous.
Off
And the
subject,
third
but
one-
you guys ever watch The
third one had
Collector?
Viggo Mortensen.
Oh, the Collector's good, man.
The Collector's
seen it
bomb,
once.
right?
I've seen it
And The
once.
Collector too. Sorry, but continue,
Sorry, I
Mike. Stay
saw
on
the-
subject.
The
I
Collection was
interrupt
good
a lot.
too.
Mhm.
All right, well, so I already know what your top three is going to be.
Coming in number 3, man. This is
Number 3, Michael will be happy with for sure.
coming in
Chucky,
this is hard, man. This is
Child's Play.
this
Child's Play
is so
I
hard.
don't know number
man.
3's name.
Because these are my these
Bride
were
of
the
Chucky.
guys that got me
Seed
into
of
the
Chucky.
franchise.
50 Shades of Grey.
50 Shades of Grey. 50 Shades of Chucky.
This is breaking my heart because he gave me so many nightmares growing up.
50 Shades
now-
of Blood.
Oh, he's
And
waiting,
now-
Freddy. Not
And now
Freddy.
watching him, watching his later films,
Bro,
now
my God,
watching
that
his
would
later
freak me out.
films, now watching his latest films, he just embraced being a rock star. I gotta put Freddy Krueger at number 3.
Freddy Krueger's like that
Wow.
weird uncle everyone has.
And the thing about it is that, like I said, now, course correction.
Fuck
When
no.
When I got into watching horror movies, for some reason I always decided to watch the remake first, or
Alright,
one of the
fine.
sequels first.
Why?
My first introduction to Freddy was I had to have been like 8 or 9 years old. Me and my younger
Why
brother
did you
Xavier,
watch that when you were 9?
me and my younger brother
He's
Xavier,
coming
we
for
had
you.
we had come home from school there, and we had invited a bunch of our friends from school to come over and watch one of my dad's horror movies. For some reason, Xavier just drew out Freddy versus Jason out of the game.
Xavier McKinney.
Freddy
No.
versus Jason is a fun.
Oh,
time.
sorry, I didn't know. I didn't read my mic. My bad, CJ.
Freddy versus dude, I could care less. Freddy versus Jason is fun.
CJ, can I smoke on your stream?
It's kind of cool.
Oh hell yeah!
Oh my
It brings me back to 1995.
Dad, you sound old. bro.
1995.
I am old, man. I was in college in '95.
Wait, Logan. I have a question. You ain't scared of Freddy? Like, think about it. Like, you can't go to sleep. Like, when you start staying up, you become delusional.
I've seen the movies, bro.
And if you go to sleep, like, you can't. That's pretty scary.
He gets more scared of nature documentaries.
Hey, nature be scary though.
Seriously,
I love. That was when I was 4, bro. I'm 13.
But dude, he used to watch like these Australian
I
deadliest
was
animals.
Real quick. I like to get some context. I was 4 to 5.
He wouldn't
years
take
old
a bath for a month. He thought a stonefish was going to get him.
bro.
So he was basically me when I watched Jaws for the first time.
There you go.
Freddy, there's an easy way to not fall asleep. Just do physical activities and you'll be good.
No.
You're gonna become delusional at some point. You're gonna start seeing hallucinations.
What are you gonna become? I live with the kid.
Bro.
But like I said, like for some reason I had this odd phase in my life where when it came to horror movies, I always watched like the sequel or the remake of their original counterpart.
CJ talks Face Clan.
Bro. So again, I saw the original Freddy vs. Jason when I was about like 8 or 9 years old. And looking back on it now, I imagine myself laughing to myself by being so traumatized of Freddy Krueger at the time. But just this overall notion that there's this demonic figure that could target me in my sleep.
CJ, what's that thing looking at you in your window right now?
You.
Behind you. There's something in your window. Bro.
You.
Who's that creeping through your window?
Up in the top right corner.
Bro.
What is that?
Bro, not for
Oh my god, what is that, bro? Seriously,
it's a weird reflection. What it is. It is. It's just a weird reflection. What it is.
Yes, it's basically just my camera and the fact that I need to clean my windows.
Oh my god.
But nah, man. It's just again, man.
I actually sit there and actually watch through most of the Freddys. I have to be honest. Yeah. I still didn't see all of the Jasons.
No, I was always more so of a Freddy guy because obviously number one, Freddy had more personality, more character to himself. But I also felt that, like I said,
Jason's a crash test.
Yo, per request, can you put Mike at full screen real fast so we can see that Jason thing?
Bro, that's Freddy Krueger.
Oh yeah, Freddy Krueger. My bad. No, it's good. It's all good. Dang, that's dope. All right, let's get it.
Can we put it in the? Can we put the camera in the more up close angle?
Comes with it.
I don't really like this camera. What?
Let's get it. What's up, CJ?
Damn it.
Okay, there you go. That's what I meant.
Let's go.
Okay.
I gotta learn how to change the camera angles.
My introduction to Freddy was Dream Warriors.
Ooh, that's actually my second favorite Nightmare on Elm Street movie.
I used to watch the VHS, and then I used to watch New Nightmare. It used to come on. I think it was on AMC, like early 2000s, Halloween. You used to see New Nightmare on TV. That's one of the best ones too. New Nightmare.
Dream Warriors is low. Dream Warriors is low-key one of the better horrors, not just one of the better Nightmare on Elm Street movies. It's one of the better horror movie sequels of my lifetime.
Yo, this looks like, what's that X-Man dude?
Cyclops.
Cyclops.
But yeah, the whole notion of a demon that could come after you in your sleep. That you
Logan, we're gonna get put on timeout.
Lowest the attention span of a gnat, for God's sake, Jesus.
Oh, I've learned that the hard way.
I got 80.
Sorry, I'm into it. I should stop. All right.
But yes, Corey. Before I keep it going, before I continue, give me your overall. first of all, Will, how were you first introduced of the character Freddy Krueger? Did you watch the
His dreams.
subsequent sequels first, or did you pop right into the original?
First Freddy I ever saw was at my neighbor's house. I was probably about 7 or 8 years old, and his older brother or sister had on. I think it was the third one. That was the first Nightmare on Elm Street movie I ever saw. Now, prior to that, I'd seen Halloween before that. I started watching horror movies on the sly, because my parents. Oh, you're not watching this. Logan knows my parents forgot that. My mom to this day.
Logan knows your parents. That's his
His parents churn their own butter.
I mean, dude, seriously, it's like watching like
you. If you were to say the word poop around my dad's parents, they might like beat you with a stick. Like,
I mean, my folks are Midwest all the way through, so it's yeah. I mean, I used to watch it at my friend's house. I mean, I had to go over there to watch Terminator. I had to go over there to watch all the. I mean, and then once I hit my teens, I didn't care. You know what I mean? But when you're 8, 9 years old, you shouldn't be watching this. You should be watching GI Joe. You should be watching Transformers. Stuff like that.
Dad's like, no, I'm an emo. Leave me alone.
I'm an emo.
Yeah, you see me as an emo, please.
Look at that bald head glistening in the moonlight like a werewolf.
Son, I'm gonna come back here and whoop your ass. I don't want to hear about it. But either way, I've only got about 10 more minutes. Real quick, man. I know your top two already.
Punished, bro.
The order, I'm assuming I know what number one is, and he is the icon of all.
Number two is my guy, my good guy, my friend to the end. And the funny thing about it is that, again, I got into slasher movies at a really young age. I probably saw the first Child's Play movie when I was about Logan's age, and Chucky was just always that dude. He was always just so much fun and charismatic. I
have a question. Why don't you just like punt him and then it's a doll?
Because
he's just that.
Let's be honest.
He has a strength of a human. Like that's why, because the more human,
I'm a human. I'll fuck up. I'll screw up that other human.
Let's be honest, guys. Let's be honest. Chucky is the J.R. Smith of horror movies.
I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go that far. You see, the thing that
Spud Web.
But yeah, if possessed, he's possessed, right? He's a doll that's possessed with, like Micah said, a full-size strength human.
Yes, I mean he gets his
and he has a knife. He's sneaky. He runs around sneakily.
I have a question. Why can't I just hold my hand out because I'm like 9 feet taller than him?
Punt him. Just punt him.
Because he's probably the smartest slasher to ever dawn the movie.
Sleeping, Logan.
Can't I just rip his head off?
No, you can't.
Let me tell you something that CJ's going to flip out.
If he's human enough, then you can kill him. But if not, then.
I'm going to give you a little revelation here, man. I've only ever seen Child's Play 1 and 2.
I haven't seen any.
Wait, you never?
To be honest.
Okay, to be fair, they have a new Chucky series coming out on the USA Network this fall, and it really only delves into Child's Play 1 and Child's Play 2. But I do recommend see Curse and Cult of Chucky. It takes you right back into.
I'll have to go back and watch them because, to be honest, man, I can respect what a hell of a franchise it is, but it never did anything for me. To me, they didn't even crack my top 10.
Corey, did you watch the one with his son?
No.
Oh my god! I just know that. He's gonna blow you away by how insane it is. But it's just the thing that I admire most about the Child's Play series, while there's not, I mean, other than really the first one, there's really not.
Is there 3 or 2?
No.
There's 7 or 8.
Yeah, there's 7 or 8 in them.
You have
the original 3 with Andy. Then you have Bride and Seed. And then, there's 7 of them.
Oh, Bride and Seed. Oh, okay, no, but Child's Play, that's 1 and 2, right?
Yeah, the first
I thought you said Child's Play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then
Child's Play 1, 2, and 3 revolves around Andy Barkley, the little kid from the first one. Bride and
What
Seed.
do they bring Jennifer Tilly in for? I heard they brought her in as like his girlfriend or something.
Oh, by the way,
That's Bride and
Right.
Seed.
CJ wants to smash Jennifer Tilly. By the way,
And
Jenna,
not,
is
not
she
my
hot?
type.
Let me look it up.
She's
Oh,
cute,
yeah.
but she's not my type.
she's a grandma. What are you talking about, bro? She's 64.
Yeah,
She's still
Well,
human, Logan.
but yeah,
Be
and the
nice.
thing that this other than
Hey, she's not
than
bad for her age. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
one second, Zion. Other than
I'm not
other
saying
than-
that, Logan. I'm just saying she's beautiful. You can say
Other-
that to an old lady.
Hold
It
on, hold
doesn't
on a
mean
second.
anything. Continue.
other than the bona fide comedies which Bride and Seed of Chucky are, it's really not a bad, I would say, Child's Play movie.
I
Like
don't think I'm watching.
all 7 of them. Well, I wouldn't deem any of them other than the first one as classics. None of them. I would say there's not a
Not a bad
a
movie.
Jason X or a Jason Takes Manhattan in this franchise.
I-
They're all pretty much kind of at the same level. But the thing that makes Chucky such a fan favorite, at least for me, is the fact that obviously his personality oozes off the screen. Obviously his charisma, his one-liners, everything in between. Nothing on this earth could freaking kill this doll. Nothing.
Chucky is the Jerry Seinfeld of horror
I
movies.
have a
Dude.
question.
He
How
is
does he
jackass
become
of-
the doll again? Like, how does he merge with the doll?
Well, basically,
Well, it's
Charles.
like voodoo. He has a amulet of Damballa, and he's
What's
like
Damballa?
Charles Lee Ray. That's his name. He practiced voodoo from his doctor.
Addison Ray.
From his voodoo.
Charles Lee Ray.
Bosley, man.
Charles Lee Ray. From his, yeah, so he was learning
Addison Rae doing
from his
voodoo?
doctor.
What? Sorry, Mike. Continue.
I don't know.
He's a voodoo master essentially.
Voodoo master.
Yeah, he learned it from his voodoo doctor, and this guy taught him everything he knew.
That's some witchcraft right there.
Addison.
Yeah. So and the first one, this cop or detective shoots him down, and he's about to die. He's on the verge of death, and he's like, "Oh,
Pause.
I'm
How
not
do you
going out
remember
like
all of
that."
this?
And then, so he puts
I
his,
love Child's Play.
he
We
says
love Child's Play.
the chant of Damballa, and he puts his soul. He transfers
that like
his
a
soul
demon?
into the doll.
Is that-
That's when he ran into
No.
the toy store. I remember now. He runs into the
Yeah.
toy store, and then the doll's on the wall.
Yeah.
Fashion. See, I needed a regest of a memory. I love it how you guys just remember
Facts.
scene for scene. Like, Jesus. Love it.
And
Good
then
job.
And the other one,
I love it.
he keeps coming back in the other ones because people just bring him back every time. Like,
Like little witchcraft
he's just
voodoo
lucky like
emo
that.
people on the world. Makes sense.
Can you guys imagine if Chucky had Wiz Khalifa's voice?
Please stop.
Oh my god.
Please stop.
I know your number one
Black
is
and
my
yellow,
number one.
black and yellow.
But before
What's
I
number
got,
one,
I gotta take
Halloween?
off
one
there.
thing I want to say though
Yeah, go
about,
ahead.
about the Chucky franchise, I love the consistency of the continuity and all that. You know, like all the callbacks to the other previous films, how they bring characters back. You know, like and the fact that Don Mancini, the creator,
And I love the fact that they keep the same actor.
yeah, also-
Freaking my God, what's his name?
Brad
Brad Dourif.
yeah.
It's the same guy performs
What's
the
that
same.
Dorcas who plays him?
Yeah, he's
I didn't know that.
other than the remake, which Corey, do not waste your time on. It's a
That Jason
complete
check.
waste of garbage. But as far as the ones that are canon, all of them are worth watching. Especially if you love just a silly cartoon slasher movie. I highly recommend go watch Bride and Seed of Chucky back to back. It will blow your mind.
I'll
It will.
take a look. Now, you got my interest piqued. It's one of the only franchise we talked about that I really don't know much about.
Mhm. And of course the guy,
Let's say we know number one is Michael Myers. We know that there's no other. He is the king of all. Before I got to take off in 10 minutes, let me give you my honorable mentions real quick because they're completely different than yours. 3 series that I love: the Evil Dead trilogy,
Ooh.
Evil
That's
Dead
with Ash,
1,
right?
2.
Ash.
Ash, and then Ash
Chainsaw
was Evil
Guy.
Dead falls in as
Two
well.
was my
Bruce
favorite.
Campbell is a god. Okay?
Does Army of Darkness count?
Yeah, Army of Darkness,
Yes.
Evil Dead
Okay.
3. Yes. Do not watch the remake. It was terrible.
If you haven't watched the
I
series,
like the remake.
Unless it's got Bruce Campbell, I don't want to see. And Logan can say all he wants. I am a Bruce Campbell simp. The guy is freaking amazing. I mean, the
What
guy
the
is.
fuck?
Oh, come on, man! Everything he's in, The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr., Burn Notice. I mean, he's been in so much. Heck, he was in. God, what classic movie was he in? That he was the understudy to Clint Eastwood, for God's sake, back in the 70s.
Breaking news: Corey Knapp admits he would smash Bruce.
No, I wouldn't, man. But I'll tell you what, Bruce Campbell is just. There are certain actors who are meant to play certain roles.
Yo,
Tony
Dad, I have
Todd's
a question.
Candyman.
Breaking
Tony Todd's
news:
Candyman. Shut up, little man.
Corey Knapp admits he would. spank
Robert Downey
down.
Jr. was a good actor for Iron Man.
Yes. I mean, there are certain, but especially in horror, where you've got guys who just fit.
Christian
roles
Bale for
perfectly.
Batman. Sorry, let's
Yes.
stick on horror.
But I mean, there's just certain people who fit the role. So to me, that series is one of my all-time favorite. I am a huge George Romero zombie fan.
Who's George Romero?
George
You
Romero,
don't know George Romero.
I'm
He's a
sorry.
king of
The Living
zombie
Dead.
films.
all the zombie films, Night of the Living
He
Dead,
started the zombie movie.
He started the whole zombie genre.
Yeah.
1960.
Mm. Oh, he looks like a nice guy.
1968.
Watch, Sean. If you haven't watched Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, and Day of the Dead.
I watched
Shaun of
those.
the Dead,
That's him?
too.
And I'll tell you what, man,
there's
Dawn,
others,
the
but those are like
remake.
the main like
Not bad.
3 required watch viewing.
Wait, is that
There's
the
also
movie that's
Land of
stuck
the
in the
Dead,
wall?
but
Yeah, the,
Dawn
and
of
I'll
the
tell you
I
what,
like that movie. That's a good
and I'll
movie.
tell you right now, the remake
Day of the
Dawn
Dead.
where they're in the, where, with Ving Rhames, is actually one hell of a movie.
The
I
sniper's
like
on the
that.
other rooftop
actually one
and
of
he
the
says
best
help
remakes.
and they have to go rescue him. I
Yep.
remember that movie.
So that trilogy, which actually now
George
the
Romero, let's go look at
in the continuity. And then my other one that actually I've got 2 others. I love Paranormal Activity group.
I've always
They're
seen the
good
first one, though.
Remember Paranormal Activity
third,
1 with
third
the
one is my
demon,
favorite.
the demon footprints across the floor because that dumb boyfriend?
Well, the fact that you and I lived it too in real life doesn't help. So,
Bruh.
and then Mike will have to go back and watch Zion's channel for that one. We explained that whole one.
Reconnect
It's
that.
on CJ's channel too.
And
It
then
is on
that's true.
CJ channel too.
And
Let's
then
get it.
I'll tell you what, the most recent bad.
Man, this
thing
guy's
that-
really accomplished. I like you, George. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh,
Continue.
George is great, man.
Oh, yeah.
George
I'll
is
tell you-
dead. George is
He's a
dead.
legend.
He died.
In 2017.
Yeah, he died.
I didn't miss that on his page. I
I'll
didn't
tell you
even
what,
look at it.
the most recent franchise is
R.I.P. to George.
which kind of revitalized, I think, the interest in horror the past decade. Has been the whole.
He's gonna say The Conjuring.
Conjuring franchise.
Dad,
I mean-
we already lived through this. You don't got to talk about it.
No, but they're great movies. I mean, they have re-energized the horror.
I need to
franchise.
go
The
watch
horror-
it. I never watched any of them.
Really?
Mm.
Uh,
Logan helped me out on this too because like I went on Google and I typed in like the chronological order, and then I watched The Nun and I turned The Nun off. I said this is crap, and then someone told me don't watch The Nun, don't base it off of
But
The
the
Nun.
Conjuring
And
1,
then I'm
2,
like,
and 3 are.
I gotta go watch The
fantastic.
Conjuring and Annabelle and all of that, but I'll watch it. I won't watch the one. And I'll watch it, and then for sure I'll get back to you guys. I like Trick or Treat. Trick or Treat's a good movie.
Trick or Treat's a
I've
good
never.
one.
What's
Micah showed me Trick or Treat.
What's Trick or Treat about? I've never watched
The
it.
one like I don't know, man.
It's
There's this
a-
little
it's a-
cute
it's
little
a
killer that
horror-
kills everybody.
It's a horror anthology. It's like a
Yes.
from
It's
Halloween.
weird. Yeah.
It's really good. It's one
It's
of
a
the
really
best
good
horror.
movie.
It's my second favorite Halloween movie.
Yeah.
So
I like
it's just
Halloween Town, the Disney movies. That's good.
So it's just a trick or treating kid that kills people.
No.
no, it's
Well,
Micah
he
could
shows
explain it
up-
better.
he shows up through each of the stories like as a cameo, and I think it's 4 stories. The 4th one, he's like the main character in the 4th story.
Yeah,
but
there's 4 of them.
the other ones is like he kind of shows up throughout them, and they're like different.
He doesn't really break out until the last story.
Yeah.
I haven't
Okay.
seen those. No,
And I have a
haven't
question
seen
for
them in a long
all.
time.
I have a question for all of you guys on the panel because I know you guys are all horror fans. I recently, well, not recently. I loved Vampire Diaries. It's such a good movie. Call it a chick flick, call it what you want. The Vampire Diaries is a good TV series. Someone told me to watch True Blood. Has anybody watched True Blood?
Not
No,
for me.
no, man.
I am
I
not.
have
I
read
saw-
the interview.
It's
saw the
vampires. So
vampire.
it's horror.
I did read the Interview with a Vampire series by Anne Rice. The books are phenomenal. The
Mhm.
movie with Tom Cruise, garbage, and Brad Pitt, but the books are
Mhm.
really good.
I seen 30 Days a Night. That was pretty good.
Oh, I love that freaking movie.
30 Days a Night. I've seen that.
Don't at me. It is the greatest vampire story of all time, in my opinion.
Don't at me.
Do not at me.
Do
You
not
can have
at
your-
me.
No, I said don't at me when I say.
Oh, I
You
thought
can
that was a
have your
movie.
you can have your Draculas. You can have your Bram Stoker's Draculas. You can have any vampire movie you want. 30
This one-
Days of Night
one ain't
is
no
the
love
greatest
story.
vampire movie of all time.
Hey,
Yes.
hey, man, love stories. Vampire Diaries is more than a love story. It's a
Zion,
badass
stop with
show.
that. Stop.
No way, man.
Dude,
Twilight,
just turn in
man.
your man card now, please.
Well, hold up. Did you guys
Jesus.
did any of you guys ever watch the Vampire Diaries?
Zion probably wears silk underwear.
It looks like
Go watch,
Twilight.
go watch
It looks
iCarly
like-
next, okay?
It looks like a chick flip, but when you understand, well, not understand, when you
watch it,
progress
it's a
through the
chick flick.
storyline and you start seeing the werewolves come in and the demons come in and all of that horror stuff come in, it's not your typical horror. Obviously, it's not even scary at all, but it's just cool to don't hang yourself. It's just,
It looks like
it's
in
serious, it's serious.
Twilight were a TV
Witches are
series.
involved.
It looks like the Vampire Diaries.
Now all
Yeah, I
they need
guess
is
you
Robert
could-
Pattinson.
you
All
see
they need
that
is
in
Robert
anyway.
Pattinson. and-
Just with less shirtless guys.
Joe Judge just called. He wants you to get the hell away from our team.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, dude. I lost all respect for you.
No, you
I,
didn't.
I love your brother, but dude, what the hell?
Wait, you never
I'm
watched
happy
it though,
to know-
Corey.
No, I
It's
haven't.
gay. Oh
No,
my
excuse
You
me.
never-
I don't want you saying that. That
Have any of you guys seen the Strain?
Oh, I was
Yeah,
just gonna mention
the
that.
Strain
Man.
is
The
not-
Strain is
So,
awesome.
all right, what do you guys like
That's
about the
a good
Strain?
one.
Because the
Striga.
killing in the Vampire Diaries is just matched with the Strain killing. So that's the thing. People look at the Vampire Diaries and they think it's just a love story. But when the action and the killing and the demons and the witches and werewolves and hybrids and shit goes down, for the reason why these guys are fans of the show, like that's that. It's not even in my top 10 best shows of all time. I'm just saying, for a horror fan, if you like the Strain for the killing and everybody, the way Vampire Diaries markets itself is really wrong, because it markets itself and it targets itself. It's not wrong because obviously it's a successful show, but it targets itself by chick flick, teenage kind of the girls. It targets itself like that, like Vampire the Buffy Slayer and like True Blood and like Charmed. It directs itself in that kind
I have
of
never
audience.
seen any
But
of those.
once you get it through, once you watch through the series, and that's why it's such a successful series, because not
Zion,
only does
I mean,
it have hold on,
CJ,
not only
share
does it
my
have
screen.
seven seasons, it also has the original, which focuses on the main vampires, and that's going on its 6th season. Plus, it just renewed another show, another spin-off, and that's going on its 3rd season. So it has a lot of seasons.
Tell
and
me
it's
you
going
have a
to popularity.
tattoo that's listing
Let's
all
get
this
it.
somewhere, man.
CJ, share my screen,
Continue.
please. Like, no, just no. Like, what? No. No. No.
I mean, like, you can judge it off of that, or you can watch it. You know what I'm saying? If you
Yeah,
don't want to
well,
watch it, it's all good.
I respect your opinion. You know that, man. That's just not for me.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
You know
Yeah, if
what-
it's not for you, absolutely.
You know when Anna and Mom watched that show Pretty Little Liars? That's what this reminds me of.
the Gilmore
That's
Girls
funny
meet
because I hear
vampire.
that a lot. I hear that a lot from my guy friends. Like I play with, and I don't have to explain to you guys. You guys know I'm not soft.
You
But
play
at the end of the
with
day,
your
Zion
like,
has play dates.
like-
How awesome is that?
It's not
no,
funny.
no. When I'm online, I hear it from my homies.
I
and
know what you meant, but I'm
I
messing
hear
with
like
Zion said
it's
I
compared
play
to
with
Pretty
my
Little
guy
Liars,
friends.
but totally understand where you guys are coming from. Just based
All
on
right.
the marketing. Let's get it.
you.
Continue.
Before I got to take off here, CJ, introduce everybody to the man in case they haven't seen who number one is.
CJ,
of
you're
all
muted, by
time.
the way. CJ, you're muted.
I mean, come on. It kind of
Nobody
goes.
His name is John Cena. Oh my god.
This is where you cut him off.
I mean,
Thank
it kind of.
Michael Myers.
It kind of goes without saying. I mean, listen. Psycho may be the granddaddy of slasher movies,
But Michael
Myers Halloween is the godfather of slasher
Yes.
movies. It not only epitomizes slasher films, it popularized them, it modernized slasher movies. You don't have to see any Halloween movie on Earth to know who Michael Myers is.
And the amazing thing is, go ahead, man. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, everyone that loves Halloween, even if you're a child, and listen, growing up 7, 8, 9 years old, Halloween was my favorite holiday to celebrate.
Don't
And
mind.
I knew who Michael Myers was even before the movies even came out. A madman that comes out every Halloween that stalks and kills babysitters. And then in my freshman year in high school, I finally watched the original version of Halloween. And it wasn't just a movie. It was an
It was an
experience
awakening experience for you.
of why I love horror movies as much as I do. My dad asked, for many years, my dad had always asked me, what is your all-time favorite horror movie? And for the longest period of time, it was always Halloween, regardless any of them. Because listen, Halloween, some of the later Halloween movies, Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, Halloween 8, Resurrection.
Oh, with
Both of those movies
Buster
are
Rhymes and
garbage.
Tyra Banks.
Bro.
You know what Buster Rhymes does kung fu?
Yeah, I know. That was the best, man. And Starbuck from Battlestar Galactica plays the one girl.
Oh my god. And then even to the hapless and terrible remakes, I'm still a die-hard.
They're not great, but I tell you what, I thought Zombie did a nice job of interpreting them for what he thought. I mean, they weren't my taste, but I tell you what, man,
I
Michael Myers.
I could still respect it for what he was trying to do, but for me, and much like many horror movies, what's scary about some of these characters is the fact that you don't know where they come from. You don't know how Michael Myers become what he is. He is just evil. And every time I get into a horror movie, but why are you calling me? Every time I get into a horror movie buzz, you know what I always go back to?
Please stop screaming.
I always go back to the late great Donald Pleasant's speech about evil in the original Halloween movie. Yep. I quote that shit at least once per year. I quote that line at least once a year. And definitely around Halloween time, and I'm usually blabbing about it like an idiot. I met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face, the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes.
Look at CJ's performance, bro.
I spent 8 years trying to reach him, and then another 7 trying to keep him locked up because I realized what was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil.
Donald Pleasance played Dr. Loomis, who was Michael's psychologist.
Oh, that line just sends goosebumps to my spine every time I hear that. And then even with some of the later Halloween movies, Halloween 4, The Return,
I like that one.
Is one of my all-time fan favorites. Not even as a guilty pleasure, it's just a fun, spiritual Halloween movie.
And isn't it just me, or just 4 and 5? What's the girl's name?
Jamie Lloyd.
Halle Berry.
The first one I thought was really number 4. I thought was really, really good. 5, I think 5 they shortchanged the story.
Yeah, they had to rush it into production after like a year.
Yeah, they shortchanged the story.
Sonic, you could smoke on stream.
This whole franchise is like one of the most inconsistent with the continuity because you have 1, 2, then you have 1, 2, 4.
I read an article, Micah. There's actually 6 alternate timelines for the Halloween franchise.
Actually, there's one, two, then 1, 2, 4, 5, 6 with the Curse of Thorn, where it gets all convoluted. Then you have 1, 2, H2O Resurrection, and so that's like, and then you have 1, and then the 2018 one, which they what's the word? Like it completely erases the second one. It's like so.
And then you've got this Rob Zombie batch. So yeah, technically, I think there's 5 or 6 different timelines for the.
There's alternate universes.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Well, it pretty much is. I mean, it's not, but like you can watch them. You can if you look it up. How do I watch Halloween? How do I watch the Halloween movies? There's 4 or 5 different viewing orders that you can watch.
And then you have the third one, which is not even canon, but it's still
standalone.
A good film, I think.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I like Scream more than I like Halloween.
Well, Scream is more for your generation, so.
Yeah, well, guys, I hate to take off, man, CJ, but it's this. You know, this is my favorite talk, man. This is always a pleasure. But
Daddy's gotta go read his Batman comics.
Bruh. The next horror, my next horror stream. My next horror stream. Speaking of Halloween, my most anticipated movie of the year now is David Gordon Green's sequel, Halloween Kills, October 12th, if I remember. October 12th, if I remember correctly.
It comes out this year?
Yes, this year.
2 months.
And then Halloween comes out next year.
Wait, another one?
And Halloween ends is next year.
I should get back on my Halloween grind. It's been a while. I didn't even watch all the movies yet. I'll let you continue. Sorry.
They also did the Easter egg in Halloween Kills with the masks from Halloween 3, the skull, the witch, and the pumpkin. The mask, it's like an Easter egg. From Halloween
I'll tell
3.
you what, now you know what we should do prepping up for it's coming up in Halloween season.
Watch party.
We should do either a watch party or a weekly broadcast on each of the Halloween movies.
Absolutely.
We'll all watch the movie and then we'll all review it. Watch it and we'll
I got my Blu-ray collection ready.
Jesus, that's
I got all 10 of them, unfortunately.
Mine are all digital, but I got them all.
I mean,
I'll find a way to watch it.
Zion, just pirate it. It's fine.
I'll find a way to watch it. I'll find a way to watch it.
I got all my movies.
Yeah.
I haven't bought a movie in 18 years. Man.
FBI, open up!
No, Corey, we are live on YouTube.
FBI, open up! Oh my god!
Actually, one of these, I don't have any movies. I get them from everybody else. I don't have nothing in my house at all.
Oh
wow! FBI.
But yes, that is my top 8. Everyone.
It only took an hour and 37 minutes to list.
Well, you're
having fun. Let's get it, CJ.
You have Anthony Hopkins, and you have Anthony Hopkins. Talk to you later, Corey.
I'll see you later, Mike. Good meeting you, man. Logan, go to bed.
But yes, that is my top 8. Everyone, you have Anthony Perkins, Psycho. You have Anthony Perkins as Psycho. You got Candyman. You then have Pinhead, Jason, Freddy. No, Jason, Leatherface.
DeAndre Hopkins as Pinhead. No. Come on, I'll stop.
CJ, sorry.
And then my top 3, my Mount Rushmore. You have Leatherface, Freddy, Chucky, and the Michael Jordan of slasher movies. Halloween. Michael Myers is Halloween. So before we sign out, guys, give me your thoughts and feelings, and we'll get ready to sign out.
I liked your list. I thought it was pretty good. I think Scream should be in there though.
Yeah, Scream's not up there. I don't know why, but it's not. But it's fine. It's your list.
The only reason why Scream is because it's mainly a collective.
Scream is the definition of a slasher.
Yeah, but it's more so of a collective group. Like it's someone different in every series.
The only reason Scream went on this for as long as it is because Courtney Cox is like, we should do a series for every body augmentation I get.
I just wanted to say thank you so much for having me on, CJ. You're the best always. I know me and you. I know I may come at you hard sometimes, but I want you to know, don't take me serious. I love the
The
I
Vampire
can't say that
Diaries.
word because I'm gonna slaughter it, but I love the expression when you elaborate, and love the passion. That's a better word I can say. I love the passion when you talk. And dude, Micah, you gotta come join us sometimes on CJ Talks Movies, CJ Talks
Yeah, I
Sports. I
mean-
know you're not really a fan of not CJ of sports, but you're a
Not
fan
the
of
dude, yeah.
movies and
Micah
Dude,
is an
and all that kind of
honorary
stuff.
Giant. He's an honorary Giants fan.
Micah,
Micah's a Giant fan.
Micah, my next kind of list, my next list breakdown. I don't know if you're an MCU fan, but
Oh, he's a huge MCU fan.
every MCU movie I do a complete total breakdown and rank them as far as my favorite MCU
Chi,
movie. So
he's gonna do Chi.
so
That'll
yeah,
only take 6.5 hours.
my next MCU review is for Shang-Chi in a couple weeks. You are free to hop on. I will give Zion the link and he can send it over to you.
And
And
then
you can give me your breakdown as far as your favorite MCU movies.
And on this channel, a total MCU review will only take about 3 days to I'm just joking.
Yeah, just send me the link anytime, and
awesome.
I'll come on.
Let's get
All right,
it.
cool. All right, cool. Guys, any last words before I sign out?
Make sure you guys go
Scream,
check out CJ Talk Sports too, because he's not only a movie channel. Check out Logan's Giant Zone. You already know what it is, and you know where to find me. Hopefully, find me at Zion Zenith and Micah 808. Maybe he might start uploading videos too. Who knows? Micah 808. Check him out as well. Let's get it.
All right.
I'll be here.
Micah Parsons.
That'll be the end of this video, guys. Again, please
Damn,
be
how
sure to
big is
like
your
and
screen?
subscribe.
That's a huge TV.
Hmm?
It's like a 70-inch. Sorry, I let you end. My bad.
Wait, what?
No, mine's like 30
What are you talking about?
Oh, that's his bed. I get it. Never mind.
Yeah.
That's his bed. That's not.
I see the line now. You can end your stream. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Interrupting always.
Clear. Okay. Thanks
He's
for
not sitting on his TV.
I mean, like,
Oh my.
that will be the end of this episode, guys. Again, please be sure to like and subscribe to CJ Talks Movies down below. This is your host, Christian Jones. Talk to you guys later.